Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, and I'm sitting next to Jose Cervantes. And we're hoping Eileen Delrossi is going to phone in any minute now. So, the national debt, 38.758 trillion. Not very good. Low of 26 today, high of 38, cloudy, then snow around noon. The snow is coming in from the west, and the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for Saturday. Up to 6 inches of snow is possible in northern Massachusetts, well, around 2 to 3 inches in the Boston area. Plan on slippery road conditions. That's the good news. There we are. So, in 1521, Spanish conquistador Juan Ponce de Leon set out from San Juan, Puerto Rico for Florida with about 200 prospective colonists. When you think about 200 back in those days, except for the Chinese fleet, which was disassembled, the Western ships tended to be pretty small. 200 is a lot of people, several ships. And Florida colonized from Puerto Rico. And today Puerto Rico is sort of a colony of the United States. I mean,
have a star.
The what?
They have on their flag. Yeah, they have a star.
That's what I thought.
One-
Said no.
Yeah, they have one star. It's funny. I just
No,
found out
I
because
didn't say that.
I found out because of the Super Bowl. So if you watch the Super Bowl, they had the Puerto Rican flag, but it was a light blue color, as opposed to now it's a darker blue. So I guess technically that flag is a resistance flag, and they were made to change the color, the blue.
The flag of Texas.
No, so they were made to change the blue when they became a colony to kind of like show submission. I didn't know that. So that current Puerto Rican flag, the color it is, that blue, is a more modern blue than what it was intended to be.
Did you mention that Melanie had to work today?
No. Melanie does have to go into work today. She's subbing for one of her co-workers who's out sick, so she can't be with us. So, one of the things I'm really disappointed in Congress for is we should cut Puerto Rico loose. 5 years
I like Puerto Rico.
and let them make the decision at the end of 5 years. We want to become a state, they become a state. We want to be free and independent, they become free and independent.
Well, let me ask you this silly question.
Go ahead.
Do you want to pay federal income tax? Circle, don't turn into Fru. It's a yes or no.
Yeah.
You want to pay income tax.
Yeah.
Everyone in Puerto Rico does not want to pay federal income tax. You can stop a homeless guy, you can stop the mayor of the town. None of them pay federal income tax.
That's true.
Nice place to be.
I'm actually going there with Francisco in April. He finally.
I'll ask Francisco a little bit more, but I don't think they pay federal income tax.
No, they do not. They definitely do not pay federal income. I know that for a fact. They do not pay.
So if I was Francisco, I'd be changing my permanent address to Puerto Rico. Hang out in Lowell.
I'm gonna. He finally got me. I'm going down there in April with him. So
You're gonna love it.
first time. I'm excited, especially
Puerto
going
Rico
with
with
him.
a Puerto Rican with you,
Yeah,
you're a winner.
we're gonna
So-
have a great time.
Were you alive when the Puerto Ricans shot up the U.S. Congress in the 1950s?
1951 was a great year for me, so likely I was alive.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people that want their independence. I think we should be supportive. Anyway, jumping way up to 1792, the Postal Service Act establishing the U.S. Post Office was signed by President George Washington on this day. In 1905, the U.S. Supreme Court upholds the constitutionality of Massachusetts' mandatory smallpox vaccination program in Jacobson versus Massachusetts. And in 1933, Congress approves the Blaine Act to repeal federal prohibition, sending the 21st Amendment to the Constitution to the states to ratify approval of ending prohibition. A great experiment, didn't work out. In 1952, Ashford becomes the first African-American umpire in organized baseball by being authorized to be a substitute umpire in the Southwestern International League. We can chalk that up to Black History Month. In 1956, the United States Merchant Marine Academy became a permanent service academy. So there's actually 5 service academies: Army, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, and Merchant Marine.
Doesn't the Space Cadets get one?
No. In 1927, Sidney Poitier...
Sorry, Space Force.
What?
Space Force.
Space Cadet, I like that though.
Was born. He's a Bahamian American actor, director, diplomat, died in 2022. In 1929, Amanda Blake was born. She passed away in 1989. You remember Amanda Blake, John? From Gunsmoke?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I like Gunsmoke.
Yep.
Matt, whatever his name was, the sheriff there, I think.
Yep.
Eustace was the...
Matt Dillon.
was
Yep.
Eustace in that one too?
Yeah. In 1895, Frederick Douglass passed away
Is
on
this
this day.
Matt's girlfriend?
Amanda's Matt's girlfriend, yeah.
She was almost attractive.
Yeah.
I was just Googling her.
She was doing the best she could, but she was almost attractive. Just my take.
In a way, though, the most important part of attractive is the mind and personality, not the face and body.
I gotta
No,
agree
I
with
think when when your spirits are together, that's a better read.
that. I agree with that 100%.
So we have an election to fill the seat of the late Senator Ed Kennedy on Tuesday, 3 March. And we need to encourage everyone we know to turn out and vote.
Who are you going to vote for, Cliff?
Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten to the polling place yet.
So it's a last-minute decision.
And it's an Australian ballot.
Elaborate on
He,
that.
he likes to throw in this like stupid little stuff. How is it an Australian ballot, Cliff?
If you knew how to use the
You
internet
don't know what an
and you looked up,
Australian-
I'm sorry.
You have to say you don't know what an Australian ballot is? That's usually he rolls that out. Hey, look, are you that stupid? I'm just picking on Cliff. He's just picking on me. We both should understand this.
I'm just here for the entertainment.
If you looked it up,
I'm not going to look it up, Cliff.
the Australian ballot is the introduction of the secret ballot, which was a good thing. And
You've
Yep.
already led the audience down a crooked path that they don't care about. An unnecessary path you've just led the audience down. Totally unnecessary.
So, do you think we should have ID to vote?
Yep. If they can ask Barack Obama for his ID, they can ask you for your ID.
I still don't really see what the big issue is about that. I know some people say, oh, it targets certain people that, can't afford an ID, this and that. Then let's make it easier for people to get identification. I just don't. You need ID to buy a pack of smokes. You need ID to buy beer. ID to get into a club.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like, I just don't see.
Cliff, what are your thoughts on voter ID?
I'm happy enough with the system we have here in Massachusetts, as long as they're checking ID or birth certificate to register someone to vote. I think it's a distraction from other issues like mail-in ballots.
Wait a second. Let's back up. Put Marty Man rule in first. Cliff, how do you feel about voter ID? It start off with a yes or no, and then you can explain. He's going into fru mode today.
Or through. He's catching strays today.
I think it's a distraction.
No, start off with yes or no.
What do you mean by voter ID?
Never mind. I withdraw the question completely. Please turn the page on voter ID. We will
No,
not.
we're not turning
we're
the
not
page.
Gonna, I'm going
John,
to shut the
I
mics off,
started.
Cliff.
Shut the mics
I'm
off.
going to shut the mics off. Okay.
Shut them off.
There you go.
Go ahead, Jose.
Can I make one little comment that isn't necessarily about voter ID, but it's tied to it? If we had, like in India, where every vote is counted, like they literally will climb the mountains to pick up a ballot, and we're making us think about voter ID because there is a certain amount of people that can't vote, I got it. So in a way, I do kind of agree with Cliff that it is somewhat of a distraction. When you have 12% on a good election showing up, when you have 5%, and I'm sure in March, people are telling me I'm crazy.
Okay,
It'll be like if we break 4.
I would agree with you, okay, but now, in about 3 weeks, they'll invite everybody down to watch the voting machine test.
Mm.
They
Yep.
don't put a fake ballot in it to see if it gets counted. That part of the process doesn't exist. Why is that? So I can print off a ballot, get a real good look-alike, and they won't test to see if it counts that. It should be rejected, correct?
Yeah.
By the high-energy computer machines that Tommy Golden and his friends bought. Why not test it?
I see. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, like how do we know? All right, so it worked with a ballot, but does that mean it'll work with sign? Like you said, I print out at home? We don't know. We're not
So
putting a
I
fake
printed
ballot
out
in there.
50, and I all voted for Cliff. Everybody voted for Cliff on my 50 ballots. Throw them in the bin. They're going to get counted at the end of the day. The machine doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody has, at least as of right now, we can see that every election come up with a solution to try to actually get people engaged. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist that the powers that be don't want people to vote. I'm sure they don't, but they're not preventing you. They're not giving you money to stay home. You know, that's a choice people are making. And you would figure that with the way things are globally and in this country due to elections, we'd actually be more involved.
Many people just don't think it makes a difference. And also, the younger generation asks themselves, what's in it for me?
That's true. But that's when we should remind them the things that they're protesting for, the things that they're grandstanding for, the things that they're complaining. I wouldn't say complaining because that sounds kind of dismissive, but on the internet, you know, the wage gap from 60 years ago to today, the price of housing, you know, things like that. Do you think if people had been more involved, that'd be a little different now? So start today, start voting, start March 3rd, start having your voices heard. That's how you take your power back. That's how you see real change. We'll see.
My concern is not that John can,
Slide your mic closer to you,
I was
Cliff.
about to say, you might want to put that closer.
not that John can print out a ballot and that it might be read, but how does he enter that ballot into the system? And I think that that's a place for a lot of fraud. And I'd like to see that tightened up, and I'm afraid the voter ID thing is just a distraction from that. If the Republicans get voter ID passed through the Senate, then the Democrats will say, see, everything's perfect. Well, I don't think everything will be perfect. I think our system works if we're making sure that the people on our rolls are alive, residents of Lowell and U.S. citizens, then I think by the time we get to vote that we're probably okay. They ask my name and my address, and or actually they ask my address and my name, and that works out pretty well. I think that's pretty secure.
And then just because I'm sure we probably already spent more time on this than John would like us to. But, you know, people talk about the machines. What's the alternative? To have people hand count them? Literally the last couple elections, I've heard of people that are working the polls that when somebody goes in there and they even have the slightest doubt or they don't know what they're doing, first-time voters, saying, oh, you should vote for this person. You know, so like, do we put it 100% on an individual? Which, I'm sorry, we're human beings. We're kind of prone to corruption. We're kind of prone to be swayed to tribalism, where we're going to like somebody and we're going to show that, you know, we're not going to show that objectivity. So I like the voter machines. It kind of, can you say there's corruption there? Yeah, but compared to people, I think it'd be more. Oh, we got some text in. Can you bring that in just a little bit so I can see the...
You want it blown up?
No, shrunk down just a little bit. I can't see the bottom one.
Well, I'll get
Okay.
it when you get down there.
I can send you a picture of an absentee ballot. Maybe people aren't showing up to vote because they don't trust the machines or the people counting them. Voter ID means fair elections. Mail-in ballots showing no ID means possible rigged elections. Good morning. In 2026, will Fairmont Street have new pavement like they told us?
No.
Just no. No hesitation on that one. Yeah, but again, what's the alternative? Like, we can't necessarily always look at, with such low voter turnout, look at corruption. Like, to me, that's a cop-out. That's an easy way to... I didn't win because, you know, when I was sparring, I didn't win because there was sweat on the mat and I slipped. And then I took a roundhouse kick to the chest. No, you took that roundhouse kick because your hands weren't up. You dropped your hands. Slip or not, keep your guard up, you know? So that's a cop-out. It's like when people say term limits. It's another cop-out. You want I heard somebody, I think on here, say the other day they wanted term limits for city council. 12% of the people show up. But then these are the same people talking about entitlements and welfare and WIC and all and enabling people. Well, guess what? Term limits is another way of enabling people because they have term limits every year for every position, offsetting. But then guess what? The people aren't showing up. So I'm sorry that you need somebody to do your job for you. Cool. Don't like it. Don't like it. I just don't. Maybe if 70-80% of the people were showing up, and then still 80% of the people are electing somebody to do their job for us. That means they're doing a good job. Like, let's stop being weak. Stand up and have your voices heard. I catch a little heat for calling people weak, but that's okay. What else do we got on there?
Are we going to bomb Iran this weekend?
Nope,
So,
because they're expected.
because we're expected?
We're not going to bomb Iran because Iran is expecting it.
Oh, okay. The president is trying to get a deal with Iran, and he's applying some muscle. He sent a couple aircraft carriers, and we're beefing up the Air Force out there in the Middle East.
What is it, up to like 1,000 actual boots not on the ground, but over there, stationed over there? I think there was already 500, and he just sent over another 500
I would
troops.
think.
Yeah, he's definitely beefing it up over there. There's more presence, military presence there now. I read somewhere, I could be inaccurate.
Well, plus the
Then there's been
retired
the-
wing commander, when we went to like,
Eileen Delrossi.
I'm awake.
oh, good afternoon, Eileen. Good afternoon.
Hang on, Eileen.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. We're
Happy
glad,
Friday.
She's too close.
we're glad you're here to explain to us what's going on in Iran.
I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on in Lowell, so can we keep it domestic for now?
Well, all right. We'll move on. Semi-domestic. Former Prince Andrew got arrested. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that picture of him on top of that girl, too.
Push her back a little bit more.
That was not good.
No. So on his birthday, he got arrested.
Oh, it sounds like he deserved to get arrested.
Jeff,
Yeah, because somebody was playing with his candle a long time ago,
you know,
and he got burnt on his birthday.
Oh, he got
So-
burned, all right.
I was thinking, this is not good for the royal family, but Stuart Varney, the Fox News guy on Fox Business, said that it might not be good government of Keir Starmer. So Jeffrey Epstein lives on.
Do you think that's a bad look on us here? Because they arrested a royal because of the Epstein files. How many people have been arrested since they were released here?
None.
Are we protecting the rich? Is that what's happening here?
No, if you break a law in France,
Wasn't this
U.S.
a
law does
separate
not, I
issue
don't think
from the
U.S. law
Epstein
allows them
files?
to arrest you here. You break a law in France. I think,
Yeah. Still, there hasn't been no.
so you go to some foreign country and where is it where they have the strippers right on the street, someplace in
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. You go to Amsterdam and you decide to enjoy an evening on that strip and you get into a fight. All the charges are going to be held in Amsterdam. None are going to get carried back to America. They might restrict your passport, but still, you're not gonna appear in any court in America.
Yeah,
Except for, what do they call it? When they try to pull you back?
extradite you. Right?
Extradition.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Cliff?
Well, that's right. You could do a crime. It's the country where you did the crime that you get the punishment.
Yep.
And well, the real question is, in the back of my mind is, what kind of operation was Epstein conducting? Was he just a big wheeler and dealer? Was he a spy, as has been suggested by some people? But, I'm not sure. Eileen, you were going to say something.
I'm not sure if he was, did the reason that he was arrested directly relate to the Epstein files, or was it something separate?
Well, I think that they found evidence in the released files that he had passed government information when he was the head of trade negotiations to Epstein. So that's what he's been arrested for.
I thought it was. Oh, okay.
They don't arrest people in England for sex. Otherwise, they'd have to go out and arrest all those Pakistanis that were diddling little girls.
You want to read these, Jose?
Yes, sir. The younger generation are not watching the horrible media, so they aren't being influenced and don't care. I have my thoughts about that. We don't trust politicians who tell us they are for term limits and then shazam, sing a different tune when they are there. Maybe people don't waste their time voting because even when you vote for an audit, the elected morons ignore your vote. Absolutely, we'll start from the bottom up. But at the same token, the elected morons keep getting elected. So if an elected moron keeps telling you they're going to or that they currently support the audit as they voted no, then maybe we should remind them that they're going to be held accountable by us and they don't get another chance to lie to you, you know? What about the older people that are watching the news? 5%. Well, under 5%, 12%, you know?
How much news is the whole story? They
No.
only tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah. And I think I've said it on here plenty of times. I don't put on NFL Network and get mad because they're not talking about soccer. You know, whoever puts on the news, whatever channel you put on, whatever outlet you put on, you know what you're going to get. And then we get mad at the other side because they're watching soccer. But we're watching football. You know, they like soccer. Let them watch soccer. You know, it's America.
Markley's got their generators cooking this morning.
I've been seeing that every day. Every day.
They were off yesterday for the first
were they?
time. Yeah.
Of course, the one day I didn't watch.
No exhaust, but back up percolating today.
I thought they only turned them on and tested them once a month. They said at the council meeting.
Kim Scott's the only one trying to really do anything here.
Oh, she's. I like her.
And what's ticking me off is I'm watching all the zoning board meetings and they're letting people putting houses where there used to be a tool shed in your backyard. There's now a 70-story building going up with no parking. And the city council is doing nothing about that. It's a law. No, it's not.
We just got 118 affordable housing. The governor is going to put in the acre on Merrimack Street.
With no parking.
I said to somebody, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. A part of me is like, yes, 118 affordable houses. But a part of me is like, in the acre that's already condensed and, like it's hard to keep up with the snow removal. That's another thing. Like, to sit there and watch the meeting on Tuesday and everybody's sitting there fighting for their district about how, we could have done this, Mr. DPW Commissioner, Mr. Manager. And then to see my representative look me in the eye, well, I was there, so look at the camera and say, I just want to say you did a great job. What district do you live in? Because you don't live in the acre if you think they did a good job. I still can't park in front of my apartment
said
building.
that?
Yeah, that's all. But on the back end,
They skinned him alive at the meeting, if you ask me.
on the back end, he's trying to have a gotcha moment with how many family members work here. Like, we don't care about that right now. We care that we can't even park in front of our places right now because they put mountains of snow in front of most of our apartment buildings or houses, and literally we still can't park there over a month removed from the storm.
Well, I did get a kick out of that. People saying, like, it's not important. Excuse me, Lowell's reputation is we hire our friends and relatives here.
You know who looked good out of that motion, though? And maybe not everybody agrees? The manager. Because when they asked him, so is there any part of this, what did he say? I don't care. I can get you up to 2022 right now at the
Okay.
press of a button.
Okay, then get it to me.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I wonder, so I'm going to make time to call Sydney, see if he can make time to come in to visit us, and ask him, did the manager send him any paperwork?
Well, they ended up removing that language from the motion.
I can ask for paperwork and
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
So,
Freedom of Information Act.
no, it's just, you're just asking if out of courtesy, he says, I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue he said that there was that prior to, before 2022, everything wasn't written down, so he'd need time.
How many, percentage-wise, how many Puerto Ricans are in Lowell? Like,
Off the top, I couldn't tell you, but at least, definitely higher than
would
the
you say?
minority national.
Cliff, how many Puerto Ricans in Lowell?
I don't know.
Okay.
At least
I'll ask
15 to
this guy. How about
20%.
Asians? How many Asians?
Yeah, I think Asians are like 20%.
Okay. When you walk through City Hall, do you find 20% Asian employees? You should. Why don't we? Because we hire the best for Lowell. The best people for Lowell jobs are Lowellians. And the manager doesn't absorb that in his head.
You don't remember the pushback when,
You can read these two and then
Yeah.
we'll continue.
do you think the old lady was kidnapped to keep the Epstein files released from being the top story on the news? The tiny hat country will be whatever it takes. I don't understand that. We'll do whatever it takes. Oh, okay, I get it now. Next thing in mass, legalized prostitution. This state has every other bad vice.
And then we can really say, we can change the motto on the license plates, we tax your ass.
Oh, what happened with all the tax money we got from the dispensaries? How did we get, billions of dollars in tax revenue, and now we're at a deficit with all this new money coming in, the millionaire's
We have
tax?
a city manager that took temporary funding and made permanent jobs.
No, the ARPA.
And then he goes, let's give him an extension on his contract and a raise. Tommy, wonderful.
I'd like to go back to the city council snow removal discussion
Please do.
because it was unfortunate for DPW and the city manager that the mayor used to run a DPW somewhere. And I thought that he did a pretty good job of slicing and dicing the snow report. That was a lot of snow, and then we're going to get more snow this weekend, maybe up to 6 inches. And where are we going to put it? Because we got in trouble in the past for using too much salt and for trying to dump the snow into the Merrimack because it's bad for the water, and already we're hearing reports of water being polluted by the snow. I mean, at least it's not like the Potomac where it's being...
Well, did they ever talk about when you flush a toilet that goes into the river? Did they talk about that at all? Anybody think that up? Oh, I put some salt in the water. Look, I just took a hellacious visit to the bathroom, and I sent it to the Merrimack River. You know
I
that's
thought
what
it
we
went
do.
to Duck Island.
And Duck Island releases it into the river.
After it processes it.
Oh, so if I process this grain of salt, it'll be okay?
Yes.
So if
Lowell
we're not,
processes its own sewer water. The sewer water is not separated. So when you put salt on your front sidewalk and it melts and goes in the sewer, it goes through Duck Island.
I was gonna say, I mean, when we're storing, they said a ton of snow over here at Hamilton Canal. It's gonna melt. Where's it gonna go? It's gonna go right in the canals.
I'm gonna give you guys a little snow plowing lesson here, okay? This is just outside, looking outside, the Rogers School's over here. This is right in front of the studio here. See this snow right here?
Mm.
It's rock solid.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't gonna move. The city, because the sun hits this side, it's gone back to the curb already with the nice warm weather we had. But this here, rock solid, ain't gonna move. So, because the city did a lackluster job, it'd be, Cliff's right, there's no place to put the snow because you got this rock. The plows, the regular plow can't move this. You can have a front end loader that's tough enough to move this, break up this ice, and throw ice chunks all over the sidewalk. And that'll make real eye candy for us on Tuesday. But that snowbank's going nowhere. It's a rock.
Yep. And if you could, I mean, go down to the acre again. Up until the other day, the little bridge over the canal there coming from the Greek bakery going towards City Hall, I walk everywhere. When I had to walk there, I was walking in the street.
Yep.
And then there's ice, a couple feet in, so I'm literally penguining and trying not to get hit by a car as I'm walking to City Hall. Now, we have some projects right there that leads into that. There's people there that I know with the little carts, on wheelchairs, on walkers. How are they getting into their apartment? You can't go anywhere. You can either go down towards City Hall or stay home. Not everybody has a car down there. People walk to the market. People walk to the bodega. People go over there they can't do that because they have to be in the street, blocking traffic. And don't dare walk down there at night. Make sure you put on your reflective vest because people come around that corner from the Hellenic school. It's a blind corner, and now you're walking in the street. So thank God nobody has gotten hit over there. We'll see if we're saying that they did a great job in the acre then. At least spots like that, I get it. But, I don't know. It's just, we got to do better. Period. They should have known when they put that report out that the mayor was going to grab that thing and rip it to shreds.
Well, and you have an additional city councilor who used to work in DPW.
Yes.
Corey Robinson.
He was out there during the whole storm.
Yep.
30 hours he put in.
So, yeah, we have a city council that knows about shoveling snow.
Yeah, they with those two on there, they should have known that report needed to be.
Exactly.
And like they said, it should have been a copy and paste. Because that should have already been in action. I show up to a job, you ask me, what are you going to do? I did that job in my head 15 different ways just on the ride there, yet alone from the second you approved it, We need a plan of attack. By the time the truck doors open, you don't even see me talking to my guys. They already know what needs to get done, and that's it. Sometimes I stay in the truck because they already know what they're doing, so I wait for them to set up. There was no plan of attack, and it happens. Admit it and do better. That's it. We don't need all this losing trust in the people.
Yep. Eileen, you got any thoughts on this before? Oh, yeah. Somebody said to me there used to be blue barrels up there on Christian Hill with sand, but they're not there this year.
I remember that, yeah.
Because sand is dirty. We want that cleaned up the streets. There'd be no more sand.
Yeah, so apparently they've banned sand as a way of keeping cars from sliding around.
We're banning sand and we're gonna tax your ass.
Taxi should not give you the sand.
These little license plate things we can put on the license plate, we're banned sand.
And then on top, tax your ass like a little.
Yep, when they legalize prostitution.
Maybe then we'll be able to get the snow removed in the acre. That's what we need. More revenue coming in.
So, we've approved cameras on school buses so that we can tag the people that ignore the stop signs. So that came out of the city council meeting Tuesday. But, and then, because John has complained so much about speeding on the freeways, Governor Maura Healey's going to put in traffic cameras to deter speeders in this collision-prone state. Did you see that, John?
I did not see it, but it's fantastic news.
Yeah. Okay.
Did she say by when, or did she just tell the public?
Hopefully not at the speed of government, right?
Well, no, it doesn't say how much.
Okay.
Well, that's going to bring in money, so they'll
Jose,
probably do that pretty
you got
quick.
4 to read here.
All right. We all know the streets/sidewalks were in bad shape. Who got fired? We want accountability. I love it. Maybe not fired, but at least a verbal reprimand. Mr. Espinola told us the other day what has been happening to the weed money, gambling money, and lottery. It's being stolen. Misappropriated, same difference. On a positive note, USA women's hockey team takes gold with a come-from-behind overtime victory from Canada. When it warms up over 32, just throw the snow off the curb and back in the street to melt like a true. They're going to find your butt if you keep doing that. That's what they were talking about Tuesday. Did you see that John Dakota posted that one of the players for the USA team used to play deck hockey over here in Lowell? And people were asking if he showed her the back shot or whatever she did and stuff like that, but ties to Lowell.
Yeah?
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, talk about it.
Cliff, going to the Iraq situation. When you were wing commander and it was going to be a defensive weekend where the rumor was we were going to get attacked, can you say, maybe you can't say because it's secret stuff, what would happen? Would you beef up the people watching the radar? Or were there any things that, as the wing commander, that you would do, knowing that we're gonna get attacked?
Good question.
No, if we thought that that was the situation, everybody would get put on alert, higher stage of alert.
Which meant for them to use the napkin and put it back on the table, or what does higher state of alert mean? Keep both eyes open.
You double the queue.
Double the queue. All righty, never mind.
You take the
withdrawing.
number of aircraft on nuclear alert and you double it. And the air defense, you'd put more aircraft on air defense alert.
So my guess is Trump's media that's saying we're going to war with Iraq this weekend, our satellites are watching Iraq to see, what are they doing? Are they doubling the planes up?
Yeah.
I see what you did there, yeah. Don't speculate, keep a close eye on
See,
what's
we
happening.
need more people on the aircraft carriers to watch them closely. So we doubled up our staff on the aircraft carriers to watch radars. Okay, watch and see what they do this weekend.
Well, I think that the way we'd be watching Iran is A, listening to the radio chatter, and B, taking more pictures from satellites overhead, and maybe some drones that we were flying over Iran. Maybe the odd U-2. But a lot of that is centralized and then sent back out to the forces.
Now, Cliff, I see this in movies a lot. DEFCON 4.
Mm.
Is that in reality a real thing, or is that a Hollywood thing? DEFCON 4.
That's a real thing.
So, is
Defense
DEFCON-
Condition 4.
Okay, now is that peacetime?
No, that's moving towards war.
Okay, so if it goes to DEFCON 1, what does that mean?
That means we're having peace and a nice weekend.
Okay, so 1 is peaceful, and the
Oh
higher
wait,
the
is that DEFCON 5? I can't remember. Huh.
Okay, never mind.
But it
No.
goes from 1 to 5, and 1 is we're pretty much at war, and the other is we're pretty much at peace.
So that would mean 4 is just, we just gonna punch somebody in the, give them a little jab, little black eye then?
Now,
Now,
Is
one
it-
of our viewers said that DEFCON 4, and I've seen it. I've always wondered. And
Yeah.
it's nice to have a guy that has the seasoning that Cliff does with the service.
a lot of that, when you move up the first level of DEFCON, it's a case of increasing your intelligence collection and sending it out to the people, the forces.
So what do you think we should do, Cliff? Do you think that we should, throw the tortillas on the skillet while it's hot and jump in there and while there's civil, unrest in Iran and try to, stir the pot a little more? Or do you think we should just kind of see what happens and let them?
Well, the president promised to help the protesters. I think that
Finish your thought, Cliff, then we'll do this. No,
Did-
Cliff's decided he's going to.
You got to the good part. What do you think, Cliff?
Okay, so here it says the lower the number, the more destruction is at our doorstep. DEFCON 5 is it's a picnic at the Air Force. 4, make sure that there's no soup on the plane. 3, no food on the planes. Look out the windows for tough stuff that's coming. 5, tough stuff is coming. Get your guns out. And 1 is pretty much duck down and shoot at anything that moves.
Nuclear war is imminent? Oh, man. I always thought DEFCON 4 was like, run. But it's
Yeah,
the other
I
way
did too.
around. Yeah, like anytime I heard DEFCON 4, like in the movie, it's like, oh, it's about to get good. Now it's like, no. That means we're going to the park.
I never knew that.
Just pay a little more attention. That's all. So, Cliff, thoughts?
But key facts, the U.S. has never officially reached DEFCON 1.
Cuban Missile Crisis, DEFCON 2. Huh.
So there you have it. Back to you, Cliff. Back to DEFCON 5.
That's what I like. I think that the president needs to keep doing the pressure game on Iran and providing them the opportunities to squeeze out and the decision to overthrow the Iranian government has got to be a decision of the people of Iran, not us.
So then, not to be an echo of John over here, so no, you don't think we should actually put boots on the ground or drop any type of intervention right now?
Not right now.
Okay. No, makes sense. Makes sense.
But you need to be prepared.
Do you think that we really should have looked at the situation in Ukraine in the bigger picture and been fighting Russia by proxy, meaning Ukraine?
Oh, yeah.
So-
I think we should support Ukraine.
So then, there was a time where we were, making a big stink about giving them money and giving them this and that. Even when this administration first came in, they were kind of like, oh, bend the knee, Ukraine, or not. Like, I really think that was, we got handed a layup right there, you know, where we get to fight the big bad red machine, again, by proxy. We don't have to get our hands dirty necessarily.
Yeah, our hands are a little dirty.
They always are. Let's be. When was the last time they were clean? Let's not play. You gotta. You can't achieve a certain level of success without getting those hands dirty. Let's be realistic.
Well, when you have a war with an entity like Iraq, when do you think they're going to forget it? They're going to be snipering us for the next 20 years. Because you know what? You people killed my mother and my kids.
Mm.
When you have a war, you mar people's minds that they're going to hate you until they're dead.
The conflicts with the Middle East. I mean, when was it that we first had overthrown Iran, when we had the regime change due
52 or so.
I mean,
somewhere around 1952. And they haven't forgotten.
No, I mean, we got to realize, too, would we? If it came out that, let's play devil's advocate, that it was the Russians that assassinated JFK, you think we would have forgotten? Or if it was Cuba or something like that? There wouldn't be a single brown person in Cuba right now if that was them that did that. Let's be realistic, we wouldn't have forgotten. And then over oil, not justifying it, but we gotta be objective here sometimes. Oh, look at that! We're almost up to the second hour. That went fast.
Time, yeah.
That happened fast.
But back to your question about Ukraine. I wonder if Europe is doing enough. And former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had an op-ed out saying that Europe needs to get its act together and do more. That came out yesterday or the day before.
Did you listen to Marco Rubio's speech in Munich?
I did not. I heard it went well.
I'd like for you to take a listen to you. I'll send it to you on YouTube, and then I'd like to have a conversation with you about it. I was going to send it to you, but this week was meeting after meeting after meeting, like every day, just so busy. I meant to send it to you.
By the way, did you listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talk about Taiwan and China attacking it?
I read a quick summary of it. That's on my queue of watching. I like to, when they talk, I like to watch and see their facial expression. I like to watch. So I'm gonna do that one today. So there you go. You watch the one for Marco Rubio. I'll watch Cortez's, and then I'll give you a call and we'll talk about it.
Send it over. Yeah.
I thought it was it was very, very well said and very well written, but if you listen to it, it was a dog whistle. It was a dog whistle. It loosely touched on tariffs, everything that the pressure we've been putting on Europe itself, because we have, whether it's on defense, whether it's, cut your cord to China, whatever. It was just like, it was like Big Brother saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, it didn't hurt that bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. But listen to it and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, I'd love to get your input on it. I got a couple minutes here before
I just want to zero in on Iran for a second. And traffic's is normal. Look at all the traffic going into Tehran this morning. Or this, I don't know what time, probably it's this afternoon there. It's a Friday afternoon. There's a lot of traffic. But then when you look at Baghdad, nothing. And you look at the rest of the country, so there's a lot of stuff going on here, nothing going on in Kashmir. So if you were Trump, what would you do? I'm going to ask Jose first, then we'll see if Cliff wants to say something.
I think we
And that's what
definitely
Eileen thinks we should do.
increased the DEFCON from 5 to at least, 4, or start talking about maybe 3 when you see that kind of activity. Especially when you were so vocal that you're gonna do something.
Cliff, what do you think?
I think that you ought to stick with the pressure in the negotiations. We're supposed to get back together in a week. I think that that's the path you ought to follow.
I asked, what does Eileen got any thoughts?
Eileen, you got a thought? Eileen?
I'm here. What is my thought about?
What should President Trump be doing
This weekend.
this weekend with regard to Iran?
Oh, I have to say I do not know because I do not know what's going on.
Okay.
I say we take one of our fancy bombs, we drop it in no man's land right here, in the middle of the day tomorrow, and let the Iranians go like, we didn't know it was coming. That's quite the bomb you have, America. And I think we're going to start listening to you.
That's a fancy bomb you got there, sir. So, in the next hour, can we touch on Israel and Tucker Carlson? What's going on there? I heard he got detained and interrogated.
That'll be interesting to hear. We'll be back.
I heard it was just his guy who got detained and interrogated.
Sorry, Cliff, we got to go.
Go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. We have Jose Cervantes here, a periodic guest, and we have on the phone Eileen Delrossi. Hello, Eileen. And then we have our producer, John McDonough.
Good morning, everybody from the North Shore.
Yeah. So it's Friday. We got a nice weekend coming up. Lots of snow, up to 6 inches north of the Pike. And we haven't finished cleaning up from the last big snowstorm. So, what do you think about the snow, Eileen?
How much are we supposed to get again?
6 inches, up to.
Oh. Well, I'll take that. Can be our last snowstorm. How's that?
Well, that'd be good. That would be good.
Jose, you want to take these two?
Absolutely. Russia was not allowed in the Olympics, but Israel was. We're only bombing Iran because of the tiny hats. Maybe if President Obama didn't give them a plane full of cash, then this bull fertilizer would not be going on.
So, Jose, I did not look at the Tucker Carlson issue except a headline that said that his publicist or somebody was detained for a couple of hours.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that. I seen that he actually, like I said, he was detained, and now this morning, because I always like to proofread everything a couple of times before I, So he's claiming that he was detained and got his passport removed, but there's other, and this is from the Times of Israel, is saying that that didn't happen. So, but I guess he was at the airport, and he was there to interview somebody, or he did an interview with somebody, and maybe, I don't know if I should repeat that, but I'm assuming that's the tiny hats that we're talking about, decided to have a little chat with him and take his, he's claiming that it happened, but there is people coming out from the Israeli administration saying that it's baloney, that it didn't happen.
I don't know who the tiny hats are.
Well,
Maybe somebody will text in and tell us.
That's the Shriners.
well, I think with the context he was using there,
The Shriners are mostly like Baghdad and stuff like that, so I think that's why.
I think he means, the Jewish little tiny hats.
Oh, the yarmulkes?
Yeah, because he said, why is it that the Russians weren't allowed, but Israel,
Once
the
you throw
tiny
the
hats
yarmulkes
were?
in, I get completely confused. So this is on Google, that Tucker Carlson, I think the guy's clawing at trying to get exposure. He's never going to get the exposure he once had. And quite frankly, they should put him back on Fox. But that's never going to happen.
One of those, a better friend than enemy. I mean, he still has a pretty big following. He's still,
Well, back when I was a kid, 60 Minutes would be on TV, and they'd have 40 million people watching. Now 60 Minutes is on TV, and they're happy if they get 5 million people to watch.
yeah. Well, that's why when people bring up the news, I'm like, most people just, it's tough. Either they watch one or the other, or social media and things like that. But the problem is we're a headline. We've become a headline society. We read the headline, and they don't at least tell me if all you read was the headline. Like I said, I read the headline. I really get to read two and two. But would you, not, Tucker was detained. That's it. It's written in stone. There's nothing, no more conversation to further be had. Like, we live in a headline society.
Cliff, your thoughts?
I've sort of lost interest in Tucker Carlson. I was a big follower, and I was a follower of Candace Owens, but she seemed to have gone off the rails a little bit. So I'm trying to stick to what is the mainstream of news, not ABC, CBS, NBC, but what's the real flow of news? So you've got to check all over the place to see what's going on.
Well, remember they used to have Chet Brinkley on TV, and he used to have some other guy with him? They would have 60 million people watching that show. And now, the people who run CBS's Anchor News at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, the big one, they're lucky if they get 1 million viewers.
Well, CBS has also got the problem that the new owner hired Barry Wise in to organize what's going on, and she is not a MAGA person. She is a fairly progressive Democrat. For instance, she is in a gay marriage, but she's just a little too much to the center for the news team at CBS, and there's
Well, they're news readers, aren't they?
they are news readers.
So you read what's on the script, or you don't come tomorrow.
It's almost like our legislators. But I read somewhere, I haven't followed up on it in a little bit, that Fox News has more viewers than the three, CNN, MSNBC, than the next big three. So sometimes when I hear people say like, oh, it's the media, if one outlet dwarfs all the others, all right, I'll play ball. I agree with you. It is the media. Why aren't we looking? Oh, because that's the one you watch. It's like when people defend CNN or defend Fox and they turn it into a thing. Let's argue about the news channels. Who cares? Why don't we argue facts? Because every time you start talking facts, people start talking about their feelings. Like, who cares if I'll read something as long as it's fact based? I don't care who wrote it. I don't look into But you can clearly read the biases. You can see the biases, but we're immune to that nowadays. We're okay with it.
But you have to look around. I read articles from both the Boston Herald and from the Boston Globe. When I come to this show on Monday and Friday, I've already looked at the email that I've gotten from the Boston Globe, and I've scanned the headlines to see if there's anything interesting.
Isn't it funny when you read something or you watch something and then you flip to the other station or, the other news outlet or the other YouTube channel, and it's completely like the complete opposite, and you're like, same story. You give me that 30 seconds of news, but then I get that extra 10 minutes of rhetoric, and it's completely like unhinged or whatever. If I show you my YouTube algorithm, it is just as conservative as it is progressive, and just as center as it is both. I listen to everybody. You have to.
Yeah.
How are you going to make an informed decision when you're only in one room? You can't do that. Maybe the best thing for Massachusetts is to legalize prostitution. I don't know. Maybe we'll finally get the snow removed out of our streets on time.
That's a good idea. Let's give the government more money. I got an idea. Let's give the government more money. The government is here to help themselves.
You were a little quiet over there, John. I knew I'd get you in the conversation with that one. Oh, I mean, we gotta do better. We just have to. I say that all the time.
Well, I did see where the Commonwealth is cracking down on fraud. The Lowell Sun had an article that said that a certain Mr. Sun had taken something like $282,000 from welfare, and that's piker numbers compared to, say, Minnesota, but still, that's our money. On the other hand, it's not that much money. That's 9 cents per Massachusetts taxpayer lost to fraud. So there's a larger amount of fraud that's been tracked down. The audit folks have identified July 2024 to June 2025, 11,952,000 in public assistance fraud plus pocket change. Now, that's starting to add up to real money. That's $3.75 per taxpayer lost to fraud. So
I'm glad you brought up the whole how much it actually affects the people. So I was reading I got some stats the other day, like that Massachusetts spends $3.3 billion on SNAP. So I went down the rabbit hole. How much does the country spend? This and that. And I read, I like to listen to noise, And I heard somebody reported that ICE went from, the budget was like $9 billion, $9 to $10 billion in like 2024. And that's actually higher than it was before. So increasing. And that we're on our way if they get the money that the right's trying to get for them, to get about the budget this year, about 90 billion. That's a huge increase. So 90 billion for ICE. Do you know how much throughout the whole country we spend on SNAP? That means everybody that, receives food stamps. Between 100 and 110. But we have a big, a significant part of the population saying the problem is people on welfare, these entitlements. That's only 1% of the federal budget. So now we're going to, overnight, almost have the ICE budget be the same as that we're complaining about. So, I don't know, maybe
but the ICE budget is a hiring program for Hispanics, right?
Well, but I mean, they get $40,000 bonus every ice, which is crazy compared to any other.
ICE is,
thing.
ICE is a terrible organization. Backing the bus up a little bit to ratings. Fox News gets 3.7 million people to watch. And the Rachel Maddow show, she gets the highest ratings at MSNBC, and she's got 176,000 viewers. Nowhere near a million. Then we got CNN, an average of 616,000. Halfway to 1 million. Then we got Newsmax, 367,000. Nowhere near even 500,000. And News Nation, 184. Fox Business, I don't care about. And then we got CNBC, gets anywhere from.
Wait, Fox Business you don't care about?
Correct.
Maria Bartiromo?
I don't know who she is. So at any rate.
You what? You don't know who Maria Bartiromo is? The money chick?
No, I don't.
She is a great newsreader.
She's got to be pretty. Let's go and see. Let's go see what Maria looks like. Oh, wrong button there. Got the wrong software coming out.
But do you see that though?
What's this girl's name? Maria?
Maria Bartiromo.
B-A-R. There she is. Cliff. No, she's not. She's pretty, but she can't hold a candle to Melania. So, sorry. On the Melania rating, she doesn't. Look at the frumpy right here. She's got her frumpy outfit on. Don't notice I look like frumpy today. Let me blow this up so you can see. Do you hear all these talk shows are going away in May?
No.
Yeah, they lost their contracts. But she could have dressed better for that one there. So going back to the ratings, on Fox, this is the most popular shows. The Five, I can't believe it. They get 3 million people to watch their show.
Almost 3.7. And that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. We gotta be careful when we're blowing that dog whistle of the news. The news. Yeah, but do you realize that the news that you're watching is towers? If we had all those numbers collectively of the top 5, they don't even come close. It's actually worse than when last time I checked it. So when you're targeting the news, you're actually targeting them.
Gutfeld, I can't stand the guy.
Is that the guy that thinks he's funny?
He gets 3 million votes.
He annoys like Hannity I can deal with, like, stuff like, but Gutfeld, I don't know why, like his stupid little laugh, laughs at his own jokes. I don't know.
How about Laura Ingraham? Where's she on that list?
She's
Laura
not.
Ingraham.
Oh, right there, the Ingraham angle.
She gets 2.7 million people to watch her show.
And she's the first one talking about fake news and the media's manipulating you. You are the media. And we can't have those Mexican politicians coming to Lowell and, spreading misinformation. Technically, aren't you the only Mexican politician in Lowell? What's wrong with you?
I don't know what they're talking about this next one, so back to you guys.
So what do you think, Eileen?
About what?
In terms of the media,
Yeah.
I think they look very pretty with their hair and makeup done, and then they're reading a script that's forced by a network.
But how do you feel about the whole, the media is the problem and the media is corrupt and fake news, in that kind of sense?
Well, I do believe it is. Look at situations where, like I think of the John O'Keefe murder and the Karen Reed case. Like, nobody wanted that story covered. And it wasn't until Turtle Boy and Garden got involved and did some real media research and interviewed people and uncovered what happened. Like, I think that, like, the news channels run a narrative of how higher up people want this state to be seen, and it goes worldwide into the country. I mean, into the whole state. I mean, if people don't want things talked about, they're not talked about, and that's not real journalism. And so the media is creating a false narrative of what is right, what's wrong, and it's just sad because people are following it and following their false narrative.
Did you, were you able to hear when we were talking about the ratings that Fox News is the media? When we looked at the ratings and their reach?
The Fox News is the what?
The media, that they have more ratings and more viewers than just about anybody can. We can almost go as far as saying almost combined, right?
Yep.
Like, so, like the majority of the people, the news sources is Fox News. So when we
I find
complain,
that interesting.
almost what was it? Almost four billion, like
How much?
3.7. 3.7 million, as opposed to, I think the highest after them was barely 200,000.
I get 3 here for you.
Oh, let's do it. Don Lemon was all over the news, but the Tucker Carlson story not being talked about. Horrible media. I agree with you. Okay, fact, we want an audit, and it's being shunned by our politicians, and the media are silent on it. They should be hammering the governor on it. I agree. The Herald has the same liberal garbage that the Globe has. All the media here in Mass are on the same page. They collaborate together before they go live. Is there even any media over here? That's probably why they're almost non-existent, because the misinformation. You know, we don't have to read anything we don't want to. We don't have to listen to anything we don't want to. You know, that's the great thing. But I hear that all the time, that the Globe and, you know, you can almost go word for word, and they're pushing the same agenda.
Well, I check what Sarah Hoyt has posted in the morning before I come here. And
Really? Who's Sarah Hoyt?
I'm Googling that right now.
she's a science fiction writer,
Oh, she makes up stories.
an immigrant from Portugal,
She's a storyteller.
and
Sarah who?
Sarah Hoyt, Hoyt.
Fantasy, mystery, and historical fiction writer. Huh.
Yeah. And she has a somewhat conservative twist on things, so I'm looking to see what she's looking at in the morning.
Now, there's a confusion as for which Sarah Hoyt we're looking at here, Cliff. So I'll put them all up on the screen when the computer finally decides to jump over there.
All right?
Computer's a little mad at me right now.
This because who was it? A man? What was that?
Which one is your Sarah Hoyt?
I don't know.
I got this one.
Well, this one's an obituary picture. It can't be her.
All right?
And so is it this girl?
Probably that one right there.
Yes, it is. I just found that picture over here.
She's a TV. I hit it twice to see what goes on here. Now it's really angry at me. Never mind. They're going to start showing nudes now. I don't want to put those out there. You never know what the internet's going to put you into.
Anyway, she's a blogger. I can't remember the name of her blog now. Oh, According to Hoyt is her blog.
Nice.
Mhm.
And what does she blog about?
Political issues, social issues.
She picks and chooses what she wants.
Yeah.
What does she have to say about Iran this morning?
Nothing.
Okay. See, they pick and choose. This goes back, I remember when I was a little kid, I'm up at Gorham Street at the O'Donnell Park with my friends, and a Lowell Sun truck's going up the street. And it gets into an accident. It flips on its side and it slides all the way down Gorham Street towards what used to be the Dairy Queen. So now I got home, Mom, there's gonna be a big story in the Lowell Sun tomorrow. She says, what's that, honey? I said, the Lowell Sun truck just flipped over and slid down Gorham Street. And she says, that won't be in the paper. And I says, yeah, it was like, the cops were there, the fire trucks were there. It was quite the thing. She said, the Lowell Sun's not going to report on itself. That won't be in the paper.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. They pick and choose what they want to cover.
Don't we all?
Yes, we do.
I've been in a few situations where I was expecting for it to be, the talk of the town. And because of certain, I can think of one off the top of my head, the individual involved, you didn't hear about it until, whispers about it, people would talk about it, but nothing major until months later. And it's like, why?
Well, recently, everybody should have stayed in bed that day. The superior officer that had a car accident and killed some retired firefighter in Lowell.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? I know what his name is, but I'm not putting it out there. We all should have stayed in bed that day.
Mm-hmm.
He's an excellent officer. The guy who got killed was a fantastic guy. Everybody should have stayed in bed that day. I'm staying out of it.
Yeah. We actually, what happened, I was going to be next to speak, and we had, it's past due, when Kennedy fell, God rest his soul, Senator Kennedy fell in Middlesex, and he hit his head. So when he fell, they were introducing me. I was the final speaker. Like, literally, I think it was either President Sisson or the Senate Speaker was like, Jose Cervantes. And right as I went up to the podium, he fell. So we had video of it because my treasurer was there recording me. I got home. So the next day, I didn't hear anything about it. The next day, I didn't hear anything. Like, literally, weeks go by. So I deleted the video because that's just, I'm not going to have the video of him falling. Be respectful. I knew him. He was a nice guy. But literally, to me, that should have been like plastered everywhere the next morning. A few people, I kind of hinted towards it. And they're like pretty much like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Like, nobody took the bait to talk about it. So I wasn't going to go around, oh, Kennedy fell, blah, blah. But it was kind of crazy that so many people were there. The newspaper was there, and nobody talked about it.
Well, yesterday, I'm listening to, when I get up at 4:30 in the morning, I watch 4, 5, 7, 11, CNN, and Fox. Give them all a little tune in.
Yell at all of them.
Listen to them all. And then once I get away from the TV and I'm doodling around in here, I put on 10-10 wins in New York City. It's live news. And it was 10-10 wins that told me we were going to attack Iran. 4, 5, 7, 11, Fox, and all the others.
Nothing.
Didn't say a thing about it.
I like listening to Bloomberg Radio because they're about money. So, of course, everybody has their biases, but their main bias is it going to affect the money? So they tend to be a little more, truthful, you can say, than the rest. They don't push as much as an agenda. So I like listening to that in between, especially when I'm at work, put the headset in, listening to a little Bloomberg while breaking some rocks. It's fun. Sorry, Cliff.
No, it's okay.
Me and John, you can't get us talking over here.
Yeah. So, our junior senator, Ed Markey, is going to boycott the State of the Union address. I mean,
He boycotts Massachusetts, so I don't see the difference.
I think it's sort of disrespectful and leads to factionalism. I mean, it's not as bad as Nancy Pelosi ripping up the State of the Union address on TV. That was very disrespectful.
It was.
And how are we all going to come together if we're not willing to all sit down in the same room? I find that not a good look for Massachusetts. I hope that the rest of the delegation is going to at least show up. Not saying they have to applaud, don't have to smile.
Well, usually they wear like a garb. Like they'll have all the woman will be wearing white or blue or red. And it's just to tick off the other side.
Which,
And it's all about, in Washington politics, state politics, our side's got to win. We don't care about the taxpayers. We don't care about the Americans. Our side has to win.
I'm sorry. For that side, though, winning is taking care of the citizens, the taxpayers.
No,
to
it's
what
not.
side, though?
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. They
To
don't
what
care
side?
about you. Okay, what did the city councilors do when it came to raising our taxes? They voted yes. How does that help you out, Cliff? Lowell Powell pisses their money away. They have federal funding, state funding. They're a poor city. Help them out. And we have a tax rate that's higher than Dragon, who doesn't get the assistance Lowell does. And yet, they did a magnificent job with the snowstorm. That's what city councilors were told.
That's what city councilor said. Thank you. You did a great job. I don't want to get back into that. But, so I've never really pushed on the party lines, you know that, Cliff. But when you say they are for the taxpayers, who are you referring to? I just want to just humor me for a second.
Well, I believe that all those Democrats, from Chuck Schumer on down, think that they're doing the best thing for the American people. I'm not saying they're right.
No.
But I believe that they think that they're putting forward the right position.
How do they listen to the American people, Cliff? How could you get Chuck Schumer on the phone? How could you get Ed Markey's attention? Elizabeth Warren boasted she's going to fix the banks. The banks now are richer than ever. Now imagine the banks, they take your money and they lend it to you at a premium. That's what banks do. They take your money, they lend it to you to do something at a premium.
When is she up for re-election again? She just went, right? So
Yeah.
it's Markey this time and then her the next time?
6 years.
So, yeah, so we got a couple more. But that's the problem, though. I don't hear too many people say many positive things, other than the people that are close to the party,
Yeah.
I don't hear too many people praise on the work. And so why aren't we putting pressure on them, by voting them out? Like, I don't understand.
We're just voting.
Yeah, like, I said that to a few people, like, to me, I think the majority of Massachusetts, we all know is unenrolled, but it's because they're more of the centralist, more conservative, kind of leaning Democrats. What I don't fully understand. I'd be lying if I said I fully understood what that meant, but I get the idea. More JFK Democrats, even Charlie Baker Republicans, that the guy can walk into a room and he's as blue as can be, but, the party affiliation is, things like that. I think we're more on the center line, maybe more progressive leaning, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But people aren't showing up. So either, I hear, and you guys hear it every day probably here, the progressives, but that's who's showing up. If anything, high five to you, kudos to you, because they're showing up, they're doing their job. You can call them un-American and sit there and with a rhetoric and go down the line, because we've all heard it. As insulting and but you know what? They're the ones being real Americans because they're voting.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're grandstanding that you're this big American and you're fighting for your right from your chair on election day. Sorry, but that's not okay. But we'll see what happens. We got a big election season here in Lowell. November, we can, we get people out there, like you said. What are we doing to get our people involved and people to get out, our neighbors to get out and vote?
So there is going to be an interesting Democratic primary for the Senate seat. Seth Moulton, the state rep, is going to run for it. A couple other Democrats are running, plus some Republicans. So it might be interesting back come August, September, October, November.
Do you think
Jose, I got like 4 feet of reed here.
Oh. Jose is a great asset to Friday City Life. Cliff is talented enough to do the show solo, but Jose elevates his game to another level. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, fact. We want an audit, and it's being shunned by our politicians, and the media is silent on it. They should be hammering the governor on it. How about CNN top-rated shows and viewership?
That was not listed anywhere I could see.
They all get together behind the scenes like the old WWF. The people you're talking about are not news people. They do opinion shows. I agree. They are not giving you the hard news. They are delivering opinions. Absolutely. And then we already read that one.
Okay, back to you guys. Thanks.
I agree. If you watch a 5-minute segment, you get 30 seconds, maybe a minute of news, and then the rest is opinion. And you know what? I like watching the news to just yell at the TV. I argue with them like they can hear me. But at least, not that I'm better than anybody, but at least I'd like to think I'm objective enough where I get the news, and then it's like, wow, I would be beating that drum of fake news or beating that Somalian drum or that anti-white America, whatever they're trying to sell me. If I could see the rhetoric that they're trying to shove down my throat. Get the news and keep it moving. It's entertainment. It's like watching Real Housewives of Oklahoma or whatever. It's reality shows. So what were we talking about before that?
I don't know. We're going to switch to Eileen. Eileen, are we experiencing teacher burnout in Massachusetts?
Are we suffering from burnout?
Teacher burnout.
Oh, majorly.
Tell
Yes.
us about it.
I mean, most teachers, teachers that I've worked with on the front lines with our students care so much, but we're not given the tools to effectively teach them. And we're now becoming not only the teacher, but the parent, the social worker, the counselor, all in one. And it is exhausting. And it is burnout. And it's a broken education system. That's why a part of me wanted to, I was okay with quitting my job over the summer, and I decided that I was going to start my own business. But obviously that didn't work out according to my plan that I made. But I guess teaching is my lot. I'm going to go back to teaching, but a part of me does not want to go back because of how broken the education system is.
Can you elaborate on that just a little bit? Like for people like me that don't fully, I get the gist of what you're saying, but what does that look like? Like the teachers getting more support. You guys know a lot of people watch this show, so what we say has influence.
Hands are tied, Jose. They can't suspend kids. They can't put any type of consequence to a student's actions or behavior, and parents are not held accountable. And even the time of the day at school, kids aren't truly getting the academics that they need because it's so jam-packed with everything.
So, I just looked up, not to interrupt you, I just looked up the student to teacher ratio, and obviously it just kind of gives you a summary. It's not, to every single student. But it is higher here in Lowell than in the state, where it's typically 1 to 11, 1 to 12. And here it says is 14 to 1. So 14.
Yes, and that could be, like, in that group, you could have kids with significant learning disabilities, behavioral problems, new students that just came from another country that don't even speak the language. All of that. And a teacher, they say, here you go. Have a good day.
I thought personally the number was going to be a lot higher. I'd be lying. And again, I'm ignorant to that. We can talk about bricks and rocks, and I'm a little more, or even certain policies than education. But I thought that number would be higher.
I wonder if that's the total number of students, total number of teaching staff, and what we have normal classrooms are more like 24 to 1, and then like in special education, you might have one teacher and a couple of kids.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not sure that. I know when my kid was in elementary school, like the most Valentine's Day cards we ever bought was like 21, 22. Like it was never, in the 25s, 30s range. But maybe that's too many students.
What do you think, Eileen?
I think they're counting paraprofessionals in that 1 to 14 and not just teachers, honestly. But, I mean, the classes are overrun. Like, right now, I would say most classes have between 23 to 27 students in a class. And they count a para as if a para goes in for a little amount of time, they count that as another teacher in the room to get that ratio down. We do need smaller classes. We do need, fast. We don't need to have our kids sit for an hour and a half for ELA and then an hour and a half for math. Like, we need to revamp the whole entire system and get these kids moving more often and get to what they really need instead of just throwing money, because the kids, Cliff's article last week, you can be like the teacher who was so great and looked good, but knew that his kids weren't truly learning. They are not getting what they need.
We had a little disciplinary problem with my kid, which she never really did. But again, high school, 14-year-old, it's going to happen. Don't lie to me, we'll figure it out, And that's one thing I said to the principal when I was in there. I said, it's not your job. I'm like, I don't want to sound rude, but it's not your job to raise my kid. Your job is to make sure my kid gets an education. Anything else from that, I appreciate the support, because she's like, we have this, we have that, we offer this, blah, 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 which I was like, wow, that's a lot of resources, that you're providing to these children. And I told her, I was like, I appreciate that, knowing that that's here, but my job is to be the parent and raise my kid. Your job is to educate my kid. If there's a problem with education where I feel she's not getting, taught properly, then me and you have I call you, When it comes to discipline, you call me. But that's one thing she did say, thank you for that, because, we're spread out thin as it is, and sometimes it feels like we don't have to just be educators. We have to be a little bit of everything, So
Right,
how much
and
of it
that's
starts
the
at
perfect
home?
Example.
But how much of it is
Right.
it at home, as opposed to giving people an out, telling the parents it's okay because the teachers aren't allowed to do their job because they're handcuffed? Why is that? What reason does the parent not have to do their job? Like, I'm sorry, if I find out my kid is going to your classroom and she's being disruptive and she's not allowing you to do your job, me and my kid are gonna have a problem. That's not a you problem. That's a me problem. That's a Jose problem. That's a my wife problem. That's not a teacher
Right.
problem.
Well, administrators don't even want to call parents. I had a parent I called about concerns about a student who was acting up and fresh in class and swearing and saying, like, not the greatest things. And she's like, sorry, but can you just not call me because I have to work for a living? And so that's really sums up what it all is. I don't want to hear about my kid's behavioral stuff. I just need to know he's in school.
Yeah, but that's well, no. I mean, and I'm not trying to push back. It's just sometimes I feel that when we say things like not enough, when we put it all on the school system, we don't allow room for the parents to take accountability. Because now it's just easy for me to say, well, my kid's a little, what is it that Bart said earlier, a little cow fertilizer because the teachers. No, it's because of you. Because when the teacher calls you, there's no consequences. There's no repercussions.
Why doesn't the school department call DSS about that parent who says, "Don't bother me"?
I mean, something, suspend the kid. Now, let's see how much work you're going to get done when your kid's at home. Because
No,
we don't do that anymore. There's no more.
My kid got
out-of-school
suspended.
suspension. Everything's handled in-house.
my kid just got suspended, so I don't know. I wish she was in that school. She literally just spent 3 days at home, and for those 3 days, you're talking it's been almost 3 weeks, and that phone is on a timer. That kid has been on thin ice for 3 weeks because she got suspended. And I encouraged the principal to suspend her.
Wow.
I encouraged it at the high school, freshman. She got suspended, and it wasn't even, honestly, we probably could have done a little sweet talking and the kid would have walked away with a slap on the wrist. But once she said that was on the table, I said, hey, you do the crime, you got to pay the time, kid. That's what you did. That's what's happening. Let's go. Go outside. So, go sit in the hallway so I could talk to your principal. And we had a great conversation. It was wonderful. So,
Who
but
is
yeah,
the principal over at the freshman academy?
I barely remember my own name half the time. I don't remember the name. I wouldn't say it anyways,
I identify with that.
But, I mean, I could tell you what she looks like. But yeah, no, the whole point is that she got suspended. But it didn't stop at the suspension. She didn't go home and lay on the couch, on her PlayStation playing on her phone.
Right.
Again, I'm not saying that the school system doesn't need revamping and we don't need some sort of better outreach or that you're wrong or anything, but giving people an out is kind of tough.
I got 3 for you.
There's never enough money for the teachers union. They spend like drunken sailors and then wonder where all the money is. Teachers are very needy today. Stop taking such huge salaries and pensions. Maybe then there will be something left over for the students.
Bart.
The progressives are more interested in peaceful protest and voting. Look at the low voter turnout. They're not going to the polls. Look at who won. Maybe AI would do a better job teaching the kids instead of an actual human. I mean, if we eventually stop saying that we're incapable of doing something, we're going to be replaced. I mean, it's one of those things. Again, I'm not trying to poop on teachers. Trust me, I have so much respect for teachers. When I got with my wife, I have a stepdaughter. You guys know I don't really talk about personal stuff too much. She was working. I was working. I said, stay home. That's the most important job there is. I'll work my butt off. The most important job in my book is to be a parent. So I gave her the option. You can keep working, doing your thing, have your own money, whatever, which my money's your money, or you can stay home. And I'll work 24 hours a day. I'll work 3 jobs if I have to, and I'll take care of you and your daughter. And you do the most important job in the world, which is raising that kid. Took her some time, we talked about it. Eventually she was like, you know what? I'm not spending as much time as my kid. With my kid, I'm working, this and that. I'm going to take you up on that. She stayed home. To me, being a parent literally is the most important job in the world. Everything else comes second.
And the behavior of the daughter is better or worse?
My kid? Or her
Yeah.
kid? Oh, yeah, no, she.
The troublesome kid.
Yeah. No, she's good. That was an isolated thing, but we don't treat it that way.
Okay.
Because you let one isolated incident, then another one, then another one, then it gets, no, we nip it in the butt right away.
And moving forward, I would much rather you say, I have a friend of mine who has a wife, and he made a deal with her.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Just roll it out, consider rolling it out that way.
I appreciate
Back over
that.
to Cliff.
Okay, jumping back over to Europe. The French president, Emmanuel Macron, made a comment. He said, free speech is a pure bullshit if nobody knows how you are guided through this so-called free speech, especially when it is to be guided from one hated speech to another hated speech. And then he said, I just want to have a transparent road through these different speeches, and I want, by the way, to have a sort of public order. I want to avoid a racist speech, hated speech, and so on. And that's not a very free speech friendly view. I mean, I always thought that the point of free speech is you have the right to be wrong. That you don't have to be right according to what the government says is right. But I was a little upset with Emmanuel Macron and his comments on free speech. That's why I think Europe is not really the same as the United States.
It's not supposed to be.
It's very unfortunate.
Eileen, what do you think about that, his comments on free speech?
I think it depends. It's on the person who says it, you know, and I mean, free speech should be free speech, but we see all the time that certain people get persecuted for speaking up and others don't.
Yeah.
Persecuted in, like, being attacked with other people's free speech, or like actually being jailed?
I mean, I've seen somebody go to jail for free speech.
Didn't Don Lemon technically? What was that about?
No, usually they don't get arrested. They get arrested for kicking a cop, spitting on a cop. They get arrested for that.
They take their free speech too far?
But when you spit on somebody or kick
But
somebody,
what's the definition of that if it's free speech?
Well,
right?
free speech is not spitting on a cop.
there it is. You start by exercising your freedom of, your free speech, and then your free speech leads to violence.
And whatever happened to my mother's rule, if you see trouble, go the other way? Don't these people understand that?
No.
Well,
They want to
what if
antagonize
free
it.
speech is more like real journalism, and people don't like being asked questions.
Eileen, this is free speech. We're saying whatever we want to say, unrestricted, except there's 7 words that the word police don't want us to use. But other than that, we can say whatever we want.
Yeah. But it works both ways. If you say something and I don't like it, as long as I'm not, certain lines, which even then, I have the right of, I can exercise my freedom of speech and tell you you're a dummy or whatever, tell you you're wrong. Doesn't make it okay, but I think that's what people look at prosecution of free speech, that I don't agree with somebody or you don't, push back. Obviously, there's some extreme cases where people just cuckoo and do the unthinkable, but
Yeah, I don't think free speech includes the right to violence.
So we got like 8 minutes left, and this is a good topic. I've never heard Mr. Krieger curse. He needs a Bavarian-filled donut. So on that note, it's coming up on the weekend. Jose, you got any plans for the weekend?
relaxing with some family members from Florida that just flew up. That's it. Hitting Boston.
Okay, next week is the Winterfest in Lowell,
Can't wait for that.
so that'll be fun. Cliff, you got any weekend plans?
I'm going to try and clear up some of the clutter on the kitchen table.
Okay. Eileen, you got any you got any weekend plans?
No plans this weekend. I just took the boys to to the North Shore Danvers water park again last night, so we'll recover over the weekend.
Okay, a lot of blisters and black and blue marks.
Yep. That's
So, as we exit, what do we think about the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case?
She's dead.
Hmm?
She's dead.
Okay, we have an opinion from the producer. But on the panel, where do we think this is going? How's it going to end?
Wait a second now. Why aren't we still looking for those bodies from the boat that sank? Because if Mrs. Guthrie was on that boat, they'd have the U.S. Coast Guard out there and the U.S. Navy searching for her body. See the difference?
Mm.
No. I don't get your point.
She's dead.
Yeah?
2 weeks she's gone missing. Take your all the cops who are looking for her and take them. Sorry, we come up empty. We're going back to our real job. Why do you perpetuate this?
Okay, that's what I was getting at. You think we ought to just make it all go away? And
No, we should resolve to the fact we don't have anything.
Yeah.
We're going back to other projects.
Because the
Like
one
the Coast Guard did about the boat that sunk.
the one ransom request ended up being fake, right? Like somebody they I don't know. I read somewhere it could be inaccurate, but that it wasn't an actual ransom request. They asked for a Bitcoin or something. Like it was, but it wasn't. It didn't hold any water.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, like they somehow figured out that they weren't actually involved with it. So at this point, was it an actual kidnapping or just murder? You know, like I said, I don't disagree with John. I'm pretty sure that 2 weeks. What was she? 81 years old, 80 years old, something like that.
Yep.
And just took her and aren't asking for money. There's no incentive, no nothing. The odds of that lady coming home alive are very, single digits.
Eileen, what do you think?
I don't know. Just think about this. We haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. I just find all of the situations regarding this very suspicious. And I know all the family members have been cleared, but I don't know. Something just doesn't add up with any of this.
From the audience, they knew the U.S. Navy searched for JFK Jr. when he perished. True. Not for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens on that case. But 2 weeks, going on to 3 weeks, no real movement. They have money. If it was about money, they would have gotten the money already.
Don't you think these cops have other jobs to do?
Yeah.
If your daughter was gone missing, how long do you think the local cops would stay on it?
Yeah. No, I mean you're right. I don't know how much.
If my son was missing, the local cops they'd do a diligent search, they'd do their job, say, we found nothing. See ya. Sorry.
Yeah, but now it has national attention. Now the world is watching. So how much of it is it they feel the pressure
They
to keep?
don't know. Move on. Close
Yeah.
the book. Put the book up on the shelf. I'm sorry, she's gone to heaven.
Yeah. Again, I don't disagree that odds are that she is no longer with us.
Okay, so on Saturday, 7 March, the City Health Department sponsoring an unwanted medication and sharps disposal at the Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you've got any medicine, any sharps kind of activities that you want to dispose of, they're doing a special collection on Saturday, March 7th from 10 to 7. And
Go ahead, Cliff.
Melanie Gilbert had a article in the paper that the club diner down by the center of the city, the owner's ready to retire, and it's been in business for almost 100 years. They're on Dutton Street. And I was thinking John should buy the club diner and conduct this show in the diner every morning, using the patrons as participants.
And then you can rent the other side out to Jose, and he can make tacos.
That's a good thought, Cliff.
And we'll always have food.
Yeah, I'll make tacos.
Read this, our last text of the week. Jose?
In the beginning, they said she needed her medicine or she could die. What happened to that part of the story? Well, I think John hit the nail on the head.
She's gone to heaven.
That is too bad.
Yeah.
We should all say a prayer for her
Yes, we should.
in our privacy. And I'll be back on Monday. Eileen will be back on Monday. And Jose will be
A couple weeks.
pounding rocks, and he'll be back in a couple weeks. Melanie Gilbert, who was supposed to be here this week, had to go to work because somebody else called in sick. She'll be back in 2 weeks, and will be a welcome addition.
She
And
just
then-
didn't want to bring donuts from that place in Arlington I keep hearing about for the past year.
Yeah, I'm looking. They're delicious. When do you get one? You're gonna go.
When I seen her name on that, I'm like, yes, tomorrow we get some.
We're worth it. It's worth waiting
See?
for.
Every time something happens.
And Regina will be here next Friday. Monday we'll have through Mike Smith, I expect. And so everybody have a good weekend and good luck shoveling snow. And thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Cliff.
Stay warm and have fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye, everyone.
Eileen.